Hello, welcome to Jenny's Biblical Messages. My name is Jenny Malm. Have you ever been waiting for something and you don't get it and you don't get it and then you get in your own way? Well, I have. So this whole year has been kind of a challenge for me in one area. And that's my beautiful daughter. In January, God gave me this beautiful vision of my daughter and her boyfriend and a child that they were to have together. And he had given me the vision of this child even last year. But this, in January, when I was really praying over it, God gave me some more information. So I sat on that information for a while. And then in March, I told my daughter about it. Well, she wasn't ready to hear it. She wasn't ready. And I got in the way. And because of that, she got very angry with me. And she has stopped talking to me. And now it's October. And it's really, really hard because she's my daughter. I love her. She's been like one of my best friends. Like, we would talk all the time. And I miss her. I miss not being able to talk to her. And so my other family and friends know this, so they try to help with this situation, right? But God gave me the end vision before the fight even started, before the word even started. He had already given me the vision of the outcome of what was going to happen. And I got in the way. I got in the way of this vision. And I've been praying a lot about it the last couple of days. And God keeps putting the same thing in my head. And it's the story of Abraham and Sarah. But at this time, they were Abram and Sarai. And the story of them and God's promise to them to give them a son started in Genesis 15. When Abram was talking to the Lord, and the Lord was promising him like all of this land and everything, and Abram said, well, that's fine, but I don't have anybody to give this land to. I'm just going to be able to give it to my servants. And in 15:4, the word of the Lord came to him. This man will not be your heir, but a son, who is your own flesh and blood, will be your heir. He took him outside and said, look up to the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. Then he said, so shall your offspring be. Abraham believed the Lord in that moment. And the Lord credited Abraham as being righteous, as being right standing with God. Abraham was like 75 at that point, and and Sarai was like 65, something like that. So they were old. And God promised them a child, and promised them not only a child, but that their offspring would be as much as the stars in the sky. Well, in Genesis 16, Sarai's getting anxious. She wants a child. So, and God has not granted them a child yet. So she goes to Abraham and says, I have this Egyptian slave Hagar, and I want to give her to you to marry so that she will have a baby. So you can sleep with her, she'll have a baby, and then I can raise the baby. Surely this is what God meant, because he hasn't given us a child, and he promised this back in the last chapter, like years ago. And so Abram agrees and sleeps with Hagar, and she has a baby named Ishmael. Well, that's Hagar's baby. That's not Sarah's baby. They got in the way of God's plan. And they had this other baby. He stepped outside of their marriage to have a baby with somebody else. And that was not God's plan. Ishmael is not the father or the descendant and then the father of all. Isaac is. Isaac is Sarah and Abraham's child. But Isaac's not born until Genesis 21, the birth of Isaac, which is like 25 plus years later. "25 years later. They had to wait. They had to wait on this promise. Sarah was 90 years old. Abraham was 100. They had to wait on this promise for 25 years. And I've been waiting for 7 months. You see, God's promised me a relationship with my daughter. He has told me that her testimony is going to be great. And whenever I see her or somebody talks about me to her, she's very angry and she's very upset. And it all had to do with a vision that I had from God in the beginning. Because her heart is not in the right place and she doesn't believe. And I believe so wholeheartedly on this. Are you there? Have you been there? With anybody, with anything? That you know that God's given you a promise? But it looks really bleak right now. And right now we're in the waiting, and the waiting is the hardest part. It's that 25 years in between. It's the birth of Ishmael instead of the birth of Isaac. The birth of something that wasn't real, that was counterfeit, instead of waiting for the real thing. Just something to ponder on today. Have a blessed day, everybody.